When we got together, and one of the things I'm really worried about is that you guys are thinking, David, Peter said how smart you are and all this kind of stuff, and it took you a year to figure this out? Yeah, it took me a while. But one of the things that he mentioned is his biggest fear was that we wouldn't dream big enough, that our vision wouldn't be expanded enough. And I can tell you that that is one problem we're not going to have. But we've been here now, 3.5 hours, and some of you're probably thinking, that's a lot of great information. How are we going to encapsulate that? What kind of tools, what kind of things are we going to be able to say this? Because this is a lot of stuff, right? As we were searching and thinking about what kind of tools and what kind of things we can do to provide for you, we decided that one of the things Peter mentioned is we're not going to be typical MLM. Don't get me wrong, we're going to use tools that we know work and that you've seen work in the past. But we're going to take things and do things in a little bit different way. That led us to a creative agency that, interestingly enough, is based right here in Salt Lake City, that has been winning awards, not for producing videos in this space, but for all types of industries. And they're becoming very, very well known, and they seem to get us. And I'd like to take time now and show the first of many videos that you're gonna have access to. The name of the company is The Good Line, and two other guys, Travis and James, are in the back there, and they're great, they're smart, they're young, they know a lot more about this kind of stuff than we do, but let's see what you think.
I think people ignore the importance of food. Every person in the world, in every location, every day needs food. I think people have trusted the powers that be, the food companies, to give them good stuff. And they haven't. And all of a sudden, foods are part of the problem we have in our society, not one of the joys that we have in our society. Foods are important to me for two reasons. The power of getting your essential nutrients for food and how your body responds to it is just critically important to me. And then secondly, it's the glue, it's the fabric that I have in my social life to bring all my loved ones together. Food has always been a critical piece of every group, every society, whether it's out of necessity or bringing everyone together. I think we've lost that a little bit in the last 100 years. Over 40% of foods are out of the home now, and that means people are grabbing things on the go, going to a fast food restaurant. It's become a function as opposed to a critical piece of our social network. One of the biggest issues that concerns me is the fact that virtually everyone does not have a healthy diet. Even people who think they are eating healthy and eating fresh stuff, it has some of the nutrients, but it doesn't have all the nutrients. The issue that we have is that we've had 100 years of processed food. Food companies don't care about essential nutrients. They care about convenience, shelf life, getting people addicted on foods. And you had a slow deterioration of the food source to today's problem where 70% of our foods are processed foods, and they're just bad foods. And there's so many folks with double talk out there, starting with the food companies, that it's very hard to know what's right and who really is telling the truth. The most powerful thing that any food company can do is give people foods that are rich in nutrients. There's 7 billion people in the world. Everyone should be getting essential nutrients. Our product will be a solution to every single person in the world. If you believe in humanity, if you love humanity, if you believe in the world, if you believe in the small guy stepping up and doing what's right and doing what the world needs, we have to do it. Yes, we might be out of our mind by deciding to pick a fight with people who are much bigger than us, but if we don't do it, who will?
You know the answer to that question, right? If we don't do it, who will? We're going to do it. You may have noticed that voice. Did you recognize that voice? He's going to hate me for saying this. Peter Castleman's voice. Wow. He didn't want to do it. Basically, had to twist his arm to do it. But as we were looking at that, we're not going to be like any other company you've seen before. We're not slick. We're not full of bling. We're real. This is going to be about real. Right? There are real problems, but here's the deal about essential nutrients and focusing on what's essential. It takes everybody where it finds you. Not everybody has the same concerns. Not everybody has the same problems, whether it be health or in life. But it takes you and meets you where you are. And that's going to be what we do in every single aspect of what we do. No matter who you are, where you are, and that one of many videos, had a very international feel to it, didn't it? Because we're not a US company. We're not a Japanese company. We are a worldwide company that, as Peter said, one person at a time, one meal at a time, one community, one family at a time, we're going to make this a better place. And so that's part of our voice. But at this point, let me introduce you to the voice that really speaks your language. A person who really has become one of my best friends. A person who 6 years ago, when he said, "David, I'm trusting my family to you. Are you going to let me down?" And I said, "No." I'm glad I kept that promise. He's kept every promise he's ever made to me. Jason Domingo.